Oh hey there, and welcome back to How to Make a Modpack. This would be part, what, 2? Is this my second time? Is this only the second? Oh well, yeah, we'll go with 2. And if it's not, y'all can, hang me later. Anyway, so, where did we leave off last time? Oh, right. So, we created a custom mod pack profile in Twitch, and we added some mods. Now, like I mentioned, I did go ahead and add a few more mods in here. You will notice that this pack is actually not the same as the one we made last time. The one we made last time is this one, How to Make a Mod Pack. I have created a new profile between last week and this, and I'm calling, well, it's just called Madge because I needed something quick to write on it. So really it's the new version of Magictastic, which is the 111.2 Magic mod pack I was working on. I have decided to try to work that mod pack into 1.12. So I figure there's a lot of things that I would need to start doing to move this mod pack from 111.2 to 1.12. There was a mod that has a critical error in it. It kept causing me crashes when I was testing it. And so I reached out to the mod author, and unfortunately this mod author did feel like he no longer wanted to upkeep the mod on 111.2. He's moved on to 112. So I figured, hey, why not go ahead and do the same? Now, not every mod I want has been updated yet, but this pack isn't anywhere near ready to release, so we're not worried about that for now. In time, things will get updated. So, yeah, I felt that mod was important enough to warrant trying to upgrade. You'll notice I did not get rid of the old version. This is because if I ever do decide that, hey, upgrading to 112 is not worth losing some of these mods in here, I still have my 111 version, so that's great. So anyway, yeah, I've added a bunch of mods in here. We're going to do a couple different things this episode. I know a lot of people want to know about configs. We will probably be working on configs today. But before we do that, I'm actually going to launch this pack. Now you will see I did create a world already. I wanted to see how stable it would be before I got on camera. I didn't want to have any major crashes, So yeah, here's what we're going to do. I always put myself in survival. Definitely turn cheats on. That's important because you're going to need to be able to cheat in items. You're going to need to be able to, pop yourself into creative mode to fly around. So there's a lot that you need to do that, cheats are going to be how you correctly test this mod pack and to know how it's working. Now, there's a lot that is going to go into this that, there are phases of testing. Right now, we're still at what I would consider the proof of concept phase. So, first thing I notice, bottom left-hand corner. Let me just bring that back up. You'll notice down here, a lot of mods like to put down that there are new versions. Integrated Tunnels has been updated. Integrated Dynamics has been updated. Evilcraft, Cyclops Core, Spectrite. So there are things that have been updated that we might want to take a look at. So to be very honest, the first thing I would do, I would stop and I would come over here and let's look at these real quick. Let's see Integrated Tunnels. This is actually the mod that was causing me issues in 111.2. It's a fantastic mod. I really actually like the fact that I am trying to upgrade because the mod author who makes both Integrated Tunnels and Integrated Dynamics added some new content for Tunnels that is not in the 111.2 version. So that's super, super nice. So as you can see here, remember from last episode, we can see things that need to get updated with the little download button here. And if we click on the mod, we go to change logs, and we just kind of look over what's been changed. Honestly, this one doesn't matter to me much. you kind of have to go through and understand what has been changed to see how big of an issue it's going to cause. Fixed exalted crafting keybind. Nope. To be honest, that needs to be changed right this second. Immersive tech, probably not. So those things I'm really not going to worry about. Let's see what Spectrite did. Oh, okay, that's a lot of changes. This is something that I probably would want to implement. So, arrow cooldowns, added a wither boss, changed implementing animated Spectrite armor. See, those are things that add content. I will want to go ahead and update that mod through my testing. That being said, I'm not going to do it right this second. We will be closing and relaunching this pack quite a bit during this proof of concept phase. So any one of those times we can easily pop in and out and, kind of see where things are. Oh, hello. So the first thing we want to look at is, what do you spawn in with in this world? So obviously this on the dynamics of integration. This is the book reference for integrated dynamics. We also started with, what was that stupid thing? This thing, the one probe readme. We spawned in with both of those. The first thing I like to do when looking at a pack is see what you spawn in with. Is that something I want my players to have in the beginning? Well, the first thing you want to look at is, what the... Did that move? Oh, it did. Oh, never mind. I know what that is. We'll ignore that for now. Let's actually... So we definitely want to change ourselves into peaceful, because we're going to be standing here talking for quite a bit. No, I don't want to die. So the first thing I want to look at is, are these items craftable? Okay, so we see that the integrated integrated dynamics. I don't know why I thought I said that wrong. That's craftable. Is the readme craftable? It is. So normally what I would do if this were me, and obviously this is me, and I am making my own pack, I'm going to make sure that those do not spawn in with my players. I don't want those to have those. I want them to have a nice, clean interface, devoid of as much as possible. Because I think I'm actually going to start people off with a nice, opening inventory. There are things in this mod pack that I think are really cool, that I think would be very helpful to have at the beginning. So knowing that, I definitely want to make sure that I go through and see what I do and do not like. Now, obviously we'll take care of those two. So let's start with the one probe. I'm going to come over here, and you'll notice I am in my file system here, in my instances for the mag, modpack, and configs. These are all the config files for our pack. I'm sorry, for the mods in our pack. Some mods put their mod configs in folders. Some of them just have them in the files. I don't know why people do them different ways. They just do. You just kind of go with the flow. So we're looking for the one probe now. Right here. So this is the program that we're going to be using to edit these config files. I use a program called Brackets. This is a Mac program because I'm on an Apple computer. You can find a program to fit your needs somewhere online, I'm sure. To be very honest, I bet Windows has more options than I have. This is basically a glorified text editor. It does understand a little bit of code, and it does kind of lay things out for me that I kind of like. This is not a Java workspace. Do not expect this to help you encode things. I don't believe the program can do all that. But for what I need it for, very, very helpful, very handy. So, what I'm going to do is scroll through here. Now, if you're as OCD as I am, I would literally go through every config file and look at every config and see what I want to change. Can that be done? Yes, I do it with every pack. I say every pack. With both the packs that I've built and now this third pack, that is what I am doing. For this demonstration, we're obviously not going to do all that. We're going to see if we have an item in here that kind of sounds like what we want. Now, not everything makes sense. I'm going to be straightforward. Not every config is written in a way that makes complete sense what it does. If true, the probe will automatically show extended information if it is in your main hand. So this kind of makes sense, shows extended information. That being said, from here, we don't know what extended information is. That's something that you would have to figure out kind of going through your testing. Or you could probably go to the CurseForge page or talk to the mod author, and they can probably tell you a little bit more information. That being said, I know what that means just because I've used it quite a bit. When you kind of get into the groove of things and you start using the same mods over and over, you kind of get to the point where you understand stuff like that. So I'm looking for... There we go. Spawn note. If true, there will be a readme note for the first time players. That's set to true. All I'm going to do is set that to false. And then we save and close. Completely simple. Now, that being said, not all configs are as simple. That one just happened to be. Let's look at integrated dynamics now. They had a book as well that I did not want. So we're going to do here. Let's see. Render distance. There we go. If the info book should be automatically obtained when the player first spawns. False. Now, here brings me to a very interesting point, and this is why I chose this one. Notice here, on the dynamics of integration, obtain on spawn equals false. Underneath here, we have other items. These do not have any written info about what these are. Portable logic programmer, variable transformer, wrench. We don't even know what these configs do. Some mod authors, now I'm going to be very honest, I don't know how to code mods. I don't know if there's a reason it is like this. But you'll notice that this mod config has broken up sections into each little thing. And it kind of looks like these were just tacked on to the bottom of this, almost like they're hidden. It's configs like these is why I sit and I go through every config file and I read every... I can't talk. I read every line to kind of see what it does, see if there's not anything I'm missing. I would have missed these had I been just looking at the info lines. Okay, so we have that taken care of. So we can go ahead and save that. Now, at this point, when you change a config, I cannot believe I keep pressing that. When you change a config, you do have to quit the game and relaunch Minecraft. Now, for something like that, we're not going to do that right now. Obviously, we know what those do. We'll test that next time. Not a problem. What I want to look at right now is JEI. With a mod pack, there are very few packs that do not have JEI, or some equivalent thereof. Now, of course, 1.12 has their new recipe section. I do not know if every mod is compatible with that yet. Some mods may not have even bothered to add their crafting recipes here. So for that, because I'm going to be very honest, this is my very first 1.12 pack, so I don't really know what to expect yet. We're kind of going through this together. So JEI is people's window into your pack. They can scroll through here and they can see what it has to offer them. This is how they will look through things and see what catches their eye. What do they want to play with? Things of that sort. Because of that, I find filtering JEI to be very big for the experience of the pack. There are things in JEI that I feel should not be there. Let's find what I'm specifically looking for. Here we go. Command blocks. Obviously, we can cheat those in, but those do not have a recipe. Oops. Same thing for barriers, repeating command blocks, void blocks, structure blocks. Those are things, a minecart with a command block, those are things, I don't know what a knowledge book is. Does this have a recipe? Nope. Oh, I think it's that thingy. Let's look at it. What was this? Oh, I ate it. Okay. Okay, interesting. So anyway, so things like that, I would want to remove those out of the pack. Now, if you are playing vanilla, you would notice that you do not see these in JEI. JEI has a fantastic function called item hiding mode. There is within the JEI configs, right, well, here we go. In JEI, there is an item blacklist. If I were to open this config, which I am, you can sit here and list out everything you do not want displayed in JEI. Now, I know what you're going to say. That's insane. You expect me to go through and figure out what each item is? No, that's not what we're going to do. JEI thought of that for us. First, we're going to go ahead and close that. We don't want that open. We're going to go ahead and turn on item hiding mode. You'll notice that nothing looks different, except when I scroll over things. Notice over there where my mouse is, JEI item list edit mode. Command click to hide, Command right click to hide with wildcard, Command shift click to hide by mod ID. Now, because I'm on a Mac, it says Command. For PC users, it probably says Control. I believe that's it might say Alt. I'm not sure I'm not sure which one it would be for you guys, but it would say right there which one you want. So now all I would have to do is come here, hold down Command, and click the items that I do not want to show in JEI. There we go. I don't want those items to show. Obviously, all that rest of that stuff, that can stay. Those are all usable things. Monster spawner? I would hide that. Now, let's talk config. If we were to open this, I believe, there we go. Now it has all of those listed under here. As we were to go through, that list will get bigger and bigger and bigger. As we do things to customize the pack, we will be continually adding things to that list. One thing I do like to remove is spawn eggs. For the most part, spawn eggs are not obtainable in the game. That's just not something that can be done unless you're using, I believe, a mod called Mob Grinding Utils has a way of making spawn eggs. That's the only mod I can think of off the top of my head. Other than that, it's very rare that you would need spawn eggs. For this, I would actually use the command right click. Notice that we've hidden things based on wildcard. Now the wildcard is JEI code that links items together. Notice that all of these spawn eggs are linked together. So I can click one. Notice that the yellow is just hidden, so I can hide Fallen Hero, and I can hide this pumpkin pie. But if I hide with the red, anything that is a spawn egg will be hidden. So now if I were to relaunch Minecraft and then turn hiding mode off, you would not see spawn eggs at all. Now, one nice thing, let's open this real quick. So the spawn egg wildcard is here. But notice that it's more than just that one item. That's because that's the wildcard that it's entered into. It's the spawn egg card. Notice that we have mobs here that are not vanilla. We have Herobrine's Creeper. We have a Chain Spectre, a Netherfish. Modded spawn eggs are all linked with the same wildcard, so that's very helpful to know. If I add another mod down the road that adds a spawn egg, it will automatically be hidden based on this wildcard. Very handy, very, very handy. let's say the one probe. Let's say I wanted to get rid of all of the items associated with that mod. I could then, well, if I could find the one, there we go. Command Shift click, and the blue shows that everything is hidden from that mod. If that mod were to add a new item into the game, it would then be hidden. So, as with all configs, obviously, we would want to save. And then you'll notice, there we go, our stuff is gone. No spawn eggs. And no one probe stuff. Straight from storage drawers to Torchmaster. So there you go. And you can see that everything is hidden now from us. So that's really nice. It's really a thing I like for the feel of the game, to kind of give you that immersive experience. Let's look at items now. So let's say, let's take Bibliocraft for example. I like Bibliocraft. I think these fancy lanterns are ugly. I don't really like them. I don't want them in the game. They don't match the play style I like. Now, this seems like a very silly piece, of course. It's decorative lighting. Of course, you want your mod pack to be, available to everyone. Some people may like these fancy lanterns. I'm just using these as an example. We're going to go ahead and give ourselves one. And we're going to say we do not want these to be craftable. Notice that these are craftable. So when I open that, I can see their crafting recipes. But let's say I don't want them. We have to remove these based on what we call a script. So I'm going to come over here, and we're going to look in our file system. We have a folder called scripts here. Notice it's empty. So what this is this is going to be where we place a file built to do functions for us. This file is called whenever you start a world. What I'm going to do real quick is take, I believe this one has a script. There we go. I'm going to take both of these scripts and just move them over real quick. There we go, and there we go. Ignore what I'm doing right now. So, I am creating this file right here. I've named it recipes.zs. Now the .zs is important. This is the file system that our mod looks at. We have a mod in here called something. What is that mod called? Craft Tweaker. There we go. Craft Tweaker. This is a mod that allows us to change recipes. So when we launch a world, Craft Tweaker will look in your scripts folder and look at anything that says .zs, and it will call those files. Craft Tweaker is going to call both of these files, but it's going to call initial inventory, and it's not going to find any code for it to run. So it will bypass that. Then it will come to recipes.zs, and it will launch this file, and it will run through here and run all of our commands. Now, this is going to be pretty extensive. This is a file that I've worked on quite a bit, you can tell. I've done a lot of things with this. We are actually going to leave it the way it is now. I don't really need to do anything with it yet. But I'm going to show you a lot of things with this. First, as with coding, anything with a hashtag in front of it, or a pound sign, whatever you call that, is information only. So name and author. The name of my file, who made it, I made it, obviously. That stuff is just for the file itself, so if anyone looks at the file, they can see what it is. This is something that the mod is going to use. The mod is going to print this phrase in the console as it filters and does these recipes. Then it comes through and it removes these recipes one by one, each in line. So I had a mod at one point that allowed Elytra to be craftable. I did not like that. I did not want Elytra to be craftable. I removed it. Down here, you'll see that I created mod recipes. So those are going to be important to us. I'm not going to go into these commands completely. Not yet. If you guys want, I can go into that extensively. I don't know. Maybe that's something you care about. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe. No, might as well. Okay, let's do it. So let's talk about this. Recipes.remove. Now this code is easy to find on the internet. There's a mod back in the 1.7.10 version called Mindtweaker. That is the original, well, I say original. It's the last mod that I know of that did this function. Now, Mindtweaker was no longer being updated, so someone created what they called CraftTweaker. It is almost the exact same mod, so the coding is the same. So if you ever need to help with what code to use to build your recipes file, you can look up things from Mindtweaker and it will help you. So let's talk about removing recipes first. You can see here, I removed a recipe called Minecraft:elytra. You'll notice that this is set in mod name, item name. Now these are not necessarily the mod name and item name that we know them as a player. These are what they're called by the mod itself, in the mod code. Now you're probably asking, Ori, how do you know what that is? I am glad you asked. So CraftTweaker adds a really nice function. There's a command you can use to find out the name of this item. Obviously, Fancy Lantern may not necessarily be what it's called. So with it in our hand, we're going to type /mt hand. Now, notice here, item, Bibliocraft:lantern gold. So that is literally the item that we would want to add here. So recipes.remove : what is that, a parentheses. Now notice the 1.12 version of CraftTweaker is really nice. I can just click to copy. In older versions, I would either type that out or copy and paste it myself. I'm just going to paste that in here, and there you go. Now, every time you end a line, you have to put a semicolon. Okay? So this, let's remove all of this. Trust me, we're going to have to remove that. Okay, so we can now save this, and we can check our handiwork. And here we are, proof of our handiwork. So now, if I look up the recipe for this fancy lantern, nothing is coming up. That is because this no longer has a recipe. If we looked here, this one still has a recipe, obviously. The gold one, the red one, it allows you to go in here and change any of them to red. That being said, you will never find a recipe to make this lantern. So from here, what we could do, turn on hiding mode, scroll over to where it is, and hide by wildcard, because those are no longer obtainable within the game. There you go. So now you'll notice, as far as our end user is concerned, as far as our players know, there's no such thing as a gold fancy lantern. We still have the iron ones right here. We still have these lamps, we still have the fancy lamp things with the iron and the gold. But, yep, no gold fancy lanterns. So it's as simple as that. So that's what I do, is the very first thing I do. I go mod by mod and I look at what do I not like in the mod. Now, before I would do that, a better option of what we could do is look at the config. So let's open up the config for Bibliocraft. The reason I chose this is because I know this config very well. You will see here, let's make this a little bit bigger, blocks enabled. So some mods have true falses on the enabling for a lot of the blocks in their games. So I come down here and I can see lamps and lanterns. Rather than sit there and do all that we did, I could easily have just turned those to false, saved those, and next time I launch the mod pack, those wouldn't be there at all. So that's something you definitely want to look at when you're going through and deciding if you do or do not want something. Look at the configs before you start changing recipes. There may be a config to turn something off, and you don't even need to go through all that problem. The one reason that you would maybe want to do that is if you're changing a recipe. But let's save recipe changing for next time, okay? I think I've hit you guys with quite a bit. We've gone through configs, we have gone through removing recipes in our recipe file. I think that is quite enough for today. So yeah. So thank you for coming on this journey with me. Next time we're definitely going to start looking at changing recipes, adding recipes, and we're going to look at what is called an OR dictionary. Okay? So that's some pretty fancy stuff. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.